Any Time at All was primarily written by John Lennon, though it's credited to the Lennon-McCartney partnership as usual. In his famous 1980 Playboy interview, Lennon described the song as an effort at writing It Won't Be Long, same ilk C to A minor, C to A minor, with me shouting.
Now, if you know your Beatles catalog, you'll remember It Won't Be Long was the opener on With the Beatles from 1963, a real rocker with those signature yeah, yeah vocals. So essentially John was trying to recapture that same energy and chord progression but with a different approach. The song was recorded on June 2nd, 1964, during what would be the final session for the A Hard Day's Night album. But when John brought the song into EMI Studios that afternoon, it was incomplete. Paul suggested a set of piano chords for the middle 8 section, and they recorded it with the intention of adding lyrics later. But they never got around to writing those lyrics. And the deadline for the album's final mixes was looming, so the instrumental middle 8 went onto the record exactly as it was, wordless. So one of the most perfectionist bands in rock history released a song with an unfinished middle section because they simply ran out of time.
John handled lead vocals and acoustic rhythm guitar, Paul provided backing vocals, bass, and that crucial piano part. George played 12-string lead guitar. This was during his early love affair with a Rickenbacker 12-string he'd received in February 1964. And Ringo contributed drums and cowbell.
And Paul sings the second Any Time at All in each chorus because John couldn't reach those high notes. This wasn't uncommon for the Beatles. They were always practical about who could sing what best. But it shows how, even on a John song, Paul's voice was essential to making it work.
Producer George Martin employed one of his signature tricks on this song, reprising a technique he'd used on the title track, A Hard Day's Night. He created a piano solo that was then echoed note for note on guitar by George Harrison. John Lennon's handwritten lyrics for Any Time at All were sold at auction at Sotheby's in London on April 8, 1988, for £6,000 to an unidentified buyer.
So if there was ever any doubt that the song was more John's than Paul's, whoever owns those handwritten lyrics has the proof.
The song appeared as the opening track on side 2 of the UK release of A Hard Day's Night, but in the US it appeared on Capitol Records' Something New album instead. This was part of Capitol's notorious practice of repackaging Beatles albums differently for American audiences, often breaking up the artistic integrity of the original British releases. It was recorded during one of the most intense periods in Beatles history. The A Hard Day's Night album was recorded over just 9 non-consecutive days between January and June 1964, while the band was simultaneously filming their first movie, dealing with the pressures of worldwide Beatlemania, and preparing for their first world tour.
And there's an interesting footnote to this recording session that connects to one of the more dramatic moments in Beatles history. Just one day after Any Time at All was completed, on June 3, 1964, Ringo Starr collapsed at a photo shoot and was diagnosed with acute tonsillitis and pharyngitis. This led to the famous period where session drummer Jimmy Nicol temporarily replaced Ringo for part of the Beatles' world tour.
Lyrically, it's a straightforward love song about being there for someone whenever they need you. The narrator promises unconditional support. All you've got to do is call and I'll be there. It's similar in theme to their 1963 song, All I've Got to Do, from With the Beatles, showing how the Beatles often returned to themes of devotion and availability in their early work. While it never became a single and doesn't get the attention of the album's bigger hits, Any Time at All represents something important in the Beatles' catalog. It's a glimpse into their working process under pressure, a song that captures them at their most human and fallible.